Hello, good day, good week, good month, good everything, and welcome to another fun-filled week with the Love Hug for Life. We are still in Florida. The sun is shining high in the sky, and my spirits are quite high as we are reaching the very end of a very long, detailed project. I have been toiling away for months, taking a Red Cross emergency response vehicle and turning it into an off-grid spaceship, basically. This thing has the ability to house water, gray water. There is no black tank. There is a new type of toilet that is inside of this. There is propane. There's a whole roof of solar power, as well as a max air fan, a 12-volt DC air conditioner, and a quite impressive power system to push all of that. Behind this cabinet, there's even a shower. This thing's got it all. Y'all hang on. This week, hopefully we can light the burners under this spaceship. This week's gonna be fun. I promise. Ooh. Look at all of that. Now, I kind of want to explain everything we have here. This is the heart of all this beast. And there's 600 amp hours of lithium batteries in there. And enough solar to recharge that. Now granted, I could have got a larger battery bank in here, but the roof is only so big. I could only get so much solar on top. I'm working my way through all of the cabinets running wires. All of the wires in this build are being ran through the cabinets afterwards, and they're being shielded. If there's any sort of complications with any accessory, this allows for anyone to come in and work on it, as well as how I wire the system as well. Everything is very color coded, and I wire everything at 12 volt. There are 24 volt systems, there's 48 volt systems, and there's even 72 volt systems. But that's some serious power, and that's enough to really hurt you, or if you don't know what you're doing, really mess things up. And once this thing leaves my possession, the odds of me being close to it again are pretty limited, so the owners have to be able to find someone to work on these systems. And I like to make sure that this is as approachable by anyone, or even if you're FaceTiming me, you can work on it due to the way I've built everything out. And I'm going to continue pushing forward with that same type of installation with all the cabling through the cabinets as well. I'm ready to see all these lights on. It'll be quite the show. Well, I've continued moving my way around the room, increasing my spaghetti monster. But I don't know if y'all know this or not, but it's Memorial Day weekend, and there's literally pool parties in every direction. And I've been invited to one, so I think I'm gonna go jump in a pool and try to cool off and come back to this tomorrow. Back at it again today. I may have slept a little later than I should have, but I had a case of the sleepies. I'm back at continuing wiring this thing up, and I want to show you some of the products I use because they're important when you're doing all of this. This is the Romex that I'm using, or what I call Romex. Romex is a particular wire. This is a marine grade 3 conductor wire though, and it's stranded and it's tinned copper, which means it works great in boats and RVs, and it allows you to be able to run it in places that running a normal solid core just would not work out very well. I also utilize something similar for my 2 conductor wires as well for all of my DC. It has a rubber jacket on it. Let's see how many wires we can feed into this big box today. Now this 2 conductor wire that I'm using to run my DC appliances has a nice outside shield, and then each conductor has a shield as well. So that allows you to be able to run it through cavities like this without a lot of concern. In certain applications, I'll put a shielding on it. Here, I'm adding this because the Max fan just comes with 2 little bare wires, and I like to leave the length of the wire as long as possible, but it needs to work its way around this fan, and we have, you know, jagged metal, so you want to make sure that there's some sort of shielding that's going to prevent this wire from getting pinched or rubbed in a fashion that could sever it, because, you know, you don't want shorts. That makes things get real spicy.
As for me, I am finally done playing with epoxy. With my last little bit that I had left over, I made a cute little art piece for my little cousin who actually has a birthday party later this evening. But all of that was just the leftovers from me making this really awesome door. Now all that's left is to attach the hardware and then take it inside to cover that hole right there. It's gonna be really, really cool, y'all.
I've done about as much as I can do today. It's a short day because we have a birthday party to attend. I did get a chance to test all of these lights that I've attached, but I'm not gonna show you yet. I'm gonna wait till I get a few more connected. It's cooler when you can flip a switch and more stuff comes on. We'll get some more done tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that is much, much better than before. Apparently I lost one of the hinges, so that will have to be rectified. But at least it looks pretty. Then there's this epoxy project. With stones from all over the country. And then this one, also with stones from all over the country. And flowers from my cousin Christy's yard. Well worth the efforts, but I think it's gonna be a while before I play with epoxy again. Mainly because having your fingers covered in that stuff makes it really, really hard to play my stringed instruments. And I miss them. Happy birthday, Heather.
Last week I began my install of the propane system, and I went over the difference with this tank versus some of the other ones by the company that I ordered it from. This is made by a different manufacturer, as we're seeing here. Normally I order Flame King tanks. Flame King sells this one, but the fittings are showing up different than any of the other ones. Now this tank is designed so that you have a solenoid here that you can control with a 12-volt switch inside of the cab, so you can turn your gas off with a switch. It also has a gauge that is quote-unquote remote, and you can run wires up, and I have a identical gauge to this that mounts inside of the rig as well. It's also set up for remote filling and remote venting, which basically means you attach a hose here and a hose here and you run it to the edge of your rig. This tank is really designed to be installed wherever you can get it, way up under the rig. But honestly, where we needed it was right here. So I've had to order a handful of brass fittings because this is not normally what a tank looks like. And this is not normally what it looks like. So we have to put a fill valve on it, as well as we have to have a way to connect our regulator that I've attached up here. Let's see if we can get all this crammed in.
What are you doing down there?
I play with copper pipes too, Kelsey. Looky cookie. I've got our Acme connection point so it can be refilled, and I've also connected our remote solenoid to our pressure regulator up there, because what's coming out of that tank will blow the socks off of the stove in there, Kelsey.
Fancy.
Oh, it gets fancier, you'll see. Okay, I'm going to show you the view from underneath, because this is one of the last times I'm going to be able to fit under here. I am in the hole that the water heater belongs in. And as always, I like to prepare for the idea. Stuff breaks, and it breaks in places where it's usually a pain in the butt to work on it. So I try to make everything as accessible as possible. I've utilized this unistrut or super strut to suspend this tank from our aluminum frame underneath. I'm utilizing one of the holes that came in the ambulance to run any of the wiring down for the water heater or any of the controls for this tank. And I'm making sure all of this is tight. And then at the end, after I get all the components installed, I'll do a vacuum test on the propane system to make sure we don't have any leaks at any of these connection points. But doing things this way and allowing the lines to run under the bottom of the rig allows for there being almost no chance for propane to leak inside and, you know, blow you up in your sleep. Okay, time to get out from underneath here. I'm tired of this. So, for any of y'all that have come across this channel or watch it because you're in the process of doing something like this, converting a vehicle into something that resembles an RV or a home, or you just find it really interesting, let me teach you something. All of this stuff that I use, all the little switches and swatches and ports and plugs and boxes and wires and heat shrink and water pumps and fittings and blah, 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 all of it. There's not really a store that one can go to purchase any of this. You can go to a big box store and purchase some sort of residential solution that might get you close, but it's not going to be what you're looking for. So I'm at the mercy of the internet, and I order components as I need them, and I wait on them to get here. Fortunately, we're close to Jacksonville, so this process has been somewhat linear. But today, I got in some parts to the propane system, which is why I started working where I did this morning. And I also got in some more of my marine triplex wire, and I'm finishing connecting the 110 connections that are on this side of the rig all the way around back to our panel here. This is the product of yesterday's work as well. All of these drops, all of this is coming into this box. I'm slowly working my way to standing in this corner right where I started this conversion. Let's keep pushing ahead. It continues to come together. Hello, Kelsey.
Hello. All of the pieces are laying out to dry. Does that mean
They're
there's more
dry.
going in?
They just really want to come in here, and if I look at them, I want to bring them in. Look, I've already brought more in, Kelsey.
I see.
Come look. See? Don't that look better? Still going. Now, when I'm doing these conversions, I don't generally test the water, the electricity, any of it until the last couple of days that I'm even around the rig. I test things independently to make sure they work as I'm installing them. And I utilize a little power box that I built, and it's basically just a plastic ammo box, and it has a step down in it, so it has a plug that takes my DeWalt batteries, and they make different colors if you have something other than this. And it takes your 20-volt battery and steps it down to 12, because yes, you can plug a 12-volt light up to this, but it burns out rather quickly and it can tear it up. One of the many things I use it for is I have these little spade connectors, so I have different things I can attach, like work lights or alligator clips. Tonight I'm doing some of the final testing of the lights before I final wire it all together. These cabinets are full of lights as well, as you can see, little wires tucked away. Things are a lot cleaner today than they were this morning. I added this component back in, as well as this. We've been staring at ugly. And I even managed to get the lift bed brackets back in here. They're not permanently mounted yet. I'm gonna work on that tomorrow. But I'm barreling toward the end. This couch is ready to come back in as well, but I won't have my storage facility for all my tools, so I'm hesitating bringing it back in because I don't want to tear it up. We'll get some more done tomorrow. These little dudes are everywhere. They're quite the jumpers too. Good morning, y'all. Me and the lizards are back at it again today. Today I'm gonna continue putting lights up and hopefully get all of them installed. After I get all the lights done, the next step is to start working on the lift bed. Forward motion every day. Ooh, I'm getting the last of the lights connected now. These are going to be really cool because there's a stove that goes in here, so it's going to cause a glowing effect. They've been done around this drawer. And I'm still got something to do underneath this one as well. And we'll finish tying up this side. It's getting more organized, believe it or not. Now that I've got all the lights in this area, it's time to keep adding. The next step is the propane cooktop. So I've test fit everything, and now I have to cut this pipe and flare it because I wanted to show you what exactly a propane stove in an RV is. There's not much to them. So that flared line will connect to the back of it here on that 3/8 connection. And it has a small little regulator, and it runs to 2 burners. The only electrical in this thing is one, because it's got cool lights that light up around the little dials, and 2, you can hit this button and it will ignite the burners versus a mechanical one that lights when you just pop the turner. So you do have to run a small electrical source to the stove as well. Let's see if we can get this thing in here. Well, I'm gonna end my day with more test lights on. I at least now have some work lights, but unfortunately I'm out of the right size wire, so I was hoping to get to the end without running out, but that is not going to be the case. This project, along with every other one I do, I try to order as little as humanly possible because, you know, stuff's expensive. But sometimes you just need more. We'll get some more done tomorrow. I gotta go take a shower. Summer's approaching fast, y'all. The feels like temperature was 104 today, and I'm ready to get this air conditioner working. We'll see if we can make that happen tomorrow. I don't know. As I patiently wait on those delivery trucks to show up with more wiring, I have to keep moving. And since I've got the bulk of everything installed in the cabinets, it's time to start putting the countertops on. Now, here are a couple of the components. There's several different pieces to the countertops, and I've had them stored and covered, waiting on this moment. There's been great debate over what we were going to do with the finish of the countertops, and we decided to go with a stain, and a particularly colorful stain. So you'll hang on. This one's going to be fun. I got to sand them first, though.
Hey.
Hello, Kelsey.
Is that the chandelier?
Oh, yeah. I had it hiding with the countertops in the barn, and I forgot all about it. I still have to paint it too, Kelsey. Isn't it pretty?
It's very, very pretty. These countertops are looking good too.
They're about to. We're on our last coat of wood filler to make sure we get the smoothest sensation. I'm about to sand them down and start staining. You know, seeing that sun is way up over my head.
Very grateful for the sunshine today, right, Shane?
I am indeed. Just like most things with this conversion, I'm going to be doing something a little different than normal. I'm utilizing a wood red stain, and I'm going to be doing it first on the door that goes between the conversion and the cab. Let's see how this turns out. I've been very excited to give this product a try. Oh, there comes the rain. All I had to do was start painting something. I got a little bit of the red stain on, and I'm very excited about what's about to happen. Love that you get the quintessential, the birds are chirping here. There's so many birds in these trees. I'm back at it again this morning. The rain stopped me last night mid-stain here. I'm gonna pick back up and hopefully get all these counters stained rather quickly this morning. Yeah, we're good. Last night, I filled in any remaining little cracks or crevices along the banding we are using to make a countertop out of plywood. Now the underside of this thing I've already braced as well. So all I have to do is sand it down with some high grit sandpaper, and we'll be ready to stain this one as well. Oh, this is gonna be wild looking. All right, there's one coat of stain all around. I do like that product because it does cover quite well. I'm still gonna do one more coat to get maximum redness. The shellac that I'm gonna be applying is really gonna make this color pop. It's gonna make it look wet, so I'm trying to impart as much of this red stain as I can into this wood. Boy, that looks cool. I've never used stain with such vibrant coloration before. Vibrancy all around, I say. While my stain is drying out there, more of my wiring finally showed up. I was waiting on two different sizes. This one is a big old thing. And this is the necessary gauge that I need for this bed lift. It's one of the last wires I have to run through this cabinet before I get to close it all up. Let's keep going. Soon I'm gonna be sitting in this corner connecting all of this to all of this. Well, talk about raining on my parade. as I've been told, the more frequent these afternoon showers start showing up, that means the closer we're getting to hurricane season, and these are getting pretty prevalent. Listen to that. What an inconvenience. The grass is happy though. I've still been pushing ahead with my wiring. I'm not quite giving up yet for the day. Did manage to get our little cutesy box wired up here, and now started moving down the cabinet, trying to get more lights connected. This has got to stop, y'all. This is a real, hindrance to my plans. Y'all, have I mentioned how much I love how fast this place dries up? The sun's out. The bugs are screaming. Let's see if we can get the last coat of stain on these and start doing the shellac finish over it. It's Friday, y'all. Let's see how much of this we can get in there. All right, the temperature is definitely spiking for today, so I'm about to hide in there and work on the electrical. I've spent the better part of the morning, midday, getting all of these stained. This is the tabletop here, and it's only got one coat on it versus you can see the difference of these that have two. Just a beautiful color. All right, it's hot. Let's work on this electrical. I want to flip some switches, y'all. I really want to try this air conditioner. All right, so we have ourselves here a dimming switch, and it requires a ground, a positive back to the battery, and a positive to all of the lights. And that's what we have here. And this particular one is controlling, I'm gonna show you all in the dark as well, but there's a clear light bar there. We're gonna have our chandelier hanging here. There's a clear light bar here. And there's also one here. So with this dimming control, you can change the brightness of it. All of these tube lights I installed are going to get their own. So all the clear lights are going to be on one. All the colored tubes in the ceiling are on one. And all the underglow through the furniture is on one. Super cool.
Oh, those are some pretty colors, y'all. That red is turning out awesome. I believe it's almost time to see all of these pieces start coming back in here. Hey, how you doing, babe?
Hello, Kelsey. I'm moving and grooving, baby. I'm trying to turn these lights on before it gets dark. We'll see if it happens.
Shane is obviously far too focused to be taking any breaks, but because he is also obviously very close to the end of this project, it's time for me to head out and go soak up as much family time as I can before it's time to get that little house back on the road. He's so ready for it, y'all.
Well, y'all, it's 8 o'clock and it's dark as shit in here. I've continued to push forward with the wiring. I've gotten a lot of it close to home, but obviously we still have a lot to go. I'm gonna pick back up as soon as I can in the morning where I left off, because due to the dry times on all the stain, I wasn't able to get the shellac started on this either. I have a lot of thunderstorms headed my way this evening as well, so I still have to get everything packed up and tarped up before it gets too dark to see. So I do want to say thank you to each and every one who watched this week with your fingers crossed along with me, hoping I finish this project. As you're learning, there's no rush in something like this, and there's no predicting how fast it goes. There are quite literally thousands of components that all have to be wired together, plumbed together, and work together flawlessly for all this to work and you to be able to drive down the road and just camp somewhere. I'm putting my heart and soul into this one, and next week I promise to be doing the same thing. If you are new to our channel, welcome. Make sure you check out some of our other social media like Facebook and Instagram. Those are great ways to see more still shots of these projects and the adventures we go on. It's also a great way to send us a direct message. If you don't have either of those platforms and you still want to drop us a line, you can send us an email at lovehutforlife@gmail.com. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.